In the rolling green hills of Aramore, where the mist clung to the mountains like a lover reluctant to part, lived a shepherd known only as Elias. His flock was small, his home a modest stone hut, but his heart was vast and unburdened. Beyond the hills, in a palace of ivory and gold, resided Lord Caspian, the wealthiest noble in the realm. His estate stretched farther than the eye could see. Servants attended his every whim. Merchants groveled for his favor. Kings themselves sought his friendship. Yet, inside the grand halls of Caspian's manor, a terrible truth festered. The noble could not sleep. Each night he tossed and turned, haunted by invisible fears. Thieves, betrayal, the ever-hungry mouths of greed. His mind conjured endless shadows. His doctors prescribed potions. His scholars read him ancient tales. His priests whispered prayers. Nothing eased the turmoil. One evening, desperate beyond pride, Caspian summoned the kingdom's wisest seer, an old woman draped in silken veils. "You seek peace," she rasped, "but peace cannot be bought with gold, nor conquered by armies. If you truly wish to sleep, find the man who sleeps soundly under the open sky. Learn from him." And so, disguised as a simple merchant, Caspian set out with a small retinue, wandering the countryside in search of this elusive sage. For weeks, he found nothing but peddlers and charlatans. His heart darkened with each passing day, until one afternoon, as the sun spilled molten gold across the hills, he stumbled upon a scene both humble and profound. On a rocky outcrop, surrounded by a flock of woolly sheep, a man lay fast asleep. His head rested on a bundle of grass. His staff lay loosely in one calloused hand. Around him, the sheep grazed peacefully, unafraid of wolves or thieves. Astonished, Caspian dismounted and approached. At the sound of his boots on the earth, the shepherd stirred, blinking up at him with calm, clear eyes. "Good day to you, traveler," Elias said, his voice warm as fresh bread. "What brings you to my hills?" Caspian hesitated. How could he admit that a noble sought wisdom from a man in rags? "I am lost," Caspian said instead. "I seek a place where a man can find rest." Elias chuckled, a deep, hearty sound that seemed to blend with the rustling of the grass. "Then you are closer than you think. Rest is not a place, friend. It is a way of being." Caspian, both irritated and intrigued, decided to stay the night. He ordered his servants back to the village and slept, for the first time in years, under the open stars. But sleep did not come. He watched the shepherd instead. How easily Elias drifted into slumber, the rise and fall of his breath steady as a song. Caspian, by contrast, flinched at every night sound, the hoot of an owl, the snapping of twigs. His hands clenched at the hidden dagger in his coat. At dawn, hollow-eyed, he confronted Elias. "How do you do it?" Caspian demanded. "How can you sleep so soundly with no walls, no guards, no fortune to protect you?" Elias smiled, stretching lazily. "Because I have nothing to lose." Caspian bristled. "You have your life." "And life," Elias said gently, "is no treasure if it is chained by fear. Look around you. The sheep trust me to lead them, to guard them, but I do not lock them away. I do not build great walls and hoard them in fear of wolves. They live free, and in return they grant me peace." "You are a fool," Lahiha Caspian muttered, "or mad. The world is full of dangers." "Yes," Elias agreed, "but fear does not lessen danger. It only steals joy from the days we are given." Caspian stayed another day, then another. He helped tend the flock, fumbling with clumsy hands. He ate bread and cheese by the fire. He listened to the soft sigh of the earth as the sun dipped low. Each evening, Elias would fall asleep with a soft smile on his face, and each evening, Caspian would lie awake, battling invisible foes. Until the night of the storm, thunder rolled over the hills, rain slashed down in silver sheets, the sheep huddled together, bleating in fear. Caspian ran for shelter under a tree, but Elias remained with his flock, murmuring soft words, guiding them to a rocky overhang. Hours later, soaked and shivering, Caspian returned to find the shepherd calm and the sheep safe. "Why didn't you run for cover?" Caspian asked, voice raw. "Because they needed me," Elias said simply, "and they trust me to be there." For the first time, something shifted in Caspian's heart. It was not the storm outside he feared. It was the storms within. His obsession with possessions, with status, with protection, all of it had turned him into a man imprisoned by his own treasures. The following morning, as the sun rose on a world washed clean, Caspian made a choice. He revealed his true identity to Elias, who only smiled and offered him a piece of bread. "I am done chasing riches that chain me," Caspian said, his voice trembling. "Teach me to live as you do." Elias nodded. "Then the first lesson is this: own nothing that you fear losing. Love freely, trust fully. Rest comes when the heart is light." And so, Caspian left behind his estate. He sold his riches, keeping only enough to care for the poor. He built a small cottage near Elias's hills, and there he learned to tend sheep, to read the sky, to find beauty in simple things. Years later, when travelers passed through Aramore, they spoke in hushed tones of the two shepherds, one old and wise, the other once a lord, who lived in peace under the stars. And some said that at night, when the wind was right, you could hear their laughter rolling down the hills, lighter and freer than any gold ever could be.